we are the most innovative country in the world. Again, depending on
that's ranked number one for sure. I think.
Yeah, in the last 14 years,
right? Yeah.
it's made by it's patent based. So we are the country, because it's very difficult to measure innovation.
Yes, right.
And defining innovation, if you talk to scientists, they will say innovation is the exact moment where you go from research to the market. If you talk to politicians, innovation is the full bandwidth from research to the market.
Right.
But the exact definition for scientists is a bit more precise.
And measurable.
Yeah, measurable. And the patent is the best indicator to measure that.
Right.
And so we have the highest number of patents per capita. But so on a global scale, we have very high number of patents. So this study shows that we are generating innovation in the field R&D, deliverable to the market. Switzerland is very strong at it. So it's a fact.
Yeah.
And our job is to come from the pack. And there is nothing I can do about innovation in Switzerland. I would love to. My father was an engineer, but I must say I'm pretty limited in what I can do myself in that field.
Sure.
But keeping people aware that this innovation is happening in Switzerland, this is a key element of our mission.
Yeah. But it's not, your job and your colleagues, it's not about actually changing those things. It's about making sure people know about them.
Exactly.
Right? So it's all about...
So it's really, take an example. We're running a campaign that's called SwissTech. This is
SwissTech?
SwissTech.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been very, very good in the brainstorming. We wanted to talk about tech and Switzerland. So we've been spending a lot of minutes to say, how could we make it readable? And we got pretty quickly to SwissTech.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult because you have French tech, you have Japan tech. But it's a no-brainer. Basically, it's Swiss, it's tech, it's SwissTech.
Right.
Which is a great achievement because we're working with different organizations, and this is one brand, SwissTech, where you have trade office, where you have innovation agency, where you have the SwissNext network, where you have Present Switzerland. So we all team up together to target the decision takers and shapers in the field of innovation with a specific focus on startups. So we go where they are. Right, and the CS in Las Vegas, VivaTech in Paris, Slush in Helsinki. So that's kind of very B2B events. Where we showcase Swiss innovation. And when I have to explain our job, our part of the job is if you have an investor coming to a fair and he has 2 hours, it's all about resources allocation. He has 2 hours. How, by using the right communications measure, we put Switzerland on his list. He has 2 hours. How do we make him come to the SwissTech booth for 10 minutes?
Okay.
Then what's happening on the booth doesn't belong to us anymore. Startup has to be good. Business people has to do the job. But we're really working on that moment. He enters the fair. And he has to see the logo. Okay, there's SwissTech. We have to be seen. So we have to be marketing relevant and to use the right techniques to be seen. And we need him to come to the booth. So this is really the job of Present Switzerland, creating opportunities based on marketing measures in order to maximize.
But you're starting that process, before the person comes to
we work in that, we work on the PR side. It's a long run. It has to be pertinent on the day, but it's a long run. How do we make sure to be on the list ahead of the fair? How do we choose the fair with the relevant people? So it's a mix of many things. But at the end of the day is how do we get his or her attention to visit or to meet with Swiss companies, Swiss startups. This is what we do. It sounds very easy in a very competitive and a very noisy things. It's not easy. So it's kind of a dream. It's fascinating. And other countries are doing it too. So you have to define a USP. You have to be different. It's not that easy in the field of innovation, but saying we're very innovative. Every country, I don't know any country saying we are the lower in the field of innovation. We are the lowest ever. So usually people come and say, we're innovative. So how do we place Switzerland? And sometimes people are coming for chocolate and cheese, going back to cliches, and are staying for innovation. So this is how the mechanism works. We want people to, we do what it takes to bring the right people. And then it belongs to the next step. Are the people, the startup.
How many of these events are there around the world each year?
That we do. So we have 3 main events, the 3 I mentioned. So Las Vegas, Helsinki, and Paris. So CS, Slush, and VivaTech are the main platforms we're doing. Embassies are running also. SwissTech label event. SwissNext is running some. We have one in the Web Summit in Rio. which is a franchise from the Web Summit from Lisbon that went overseas to Rio. It's produced by SwissTech team there.
Okay.
We co-finance it with the Center for Innovation. We have one present as SushiTech in Japan.
SushiTech.
It's cliches, but it's a good example. Japanese made a new startup fair. They name it SushiTech.
Oh, it's not about sushi, but that's the name, right?
Yeah, it's just Japanese. So we all doing the same. Japanese people say, okay, what is very well known about Japan? Sushi. We take tech, SushiTech, it works well. So it's
okay.
So just say we're not the only one thing about it, but it's a massive startup event in Japan. And we also attending there. So the SwissTech in Japan is producing there, but using the SwissTech brand. There are also another company producing a booth at GITEX in Dubai that is branded SwissTech. So they're the one we run ourselves, and then they are the one run by other, but that we support financially and design-wise in order to have that SwissTech.
Yeah. So it sounds like at some point in the calendar, there's always something going on, right?
There is, fortunately, or unfortunately, depending if you ask the families.
Right.
But it's always, and the good thing is not fully. So we build up SwissTech. It's an initiative that came from present Switzerland, but it shows us it doesn't make any sense if we do it on our own. Switzerland is a very decentralized country, so there are different organizations. So the success of it is that we all agreed to hide the logos and to work all with the same one.
Oh, okay.
Which is on a Swiss level, a decent result.
I think so.
It says something about that.
Right.
But everybody was convinced that it was the right thing to do. And then again, to define where to go is not on present Switzerland to define what is the most relevant fair for a Swiss startup. So in a Swiss, which is the innovation agency of Switzerland, they have surveys to the Swiss startups asking them what are the most relevant events. And based on the results of this survey, then we say, okay, this is useful for startups. This is good for business, and this has a potential impact for the perception. If we have these dimensions, VivaTech is a good example, happening in Paris in June. This is where it's one of the major European startup event. And then we go there because for Swiss startups, the costs are pretty low. Traveling to Paris is easy. Traveling to Vegas is another challenge. Traveling to Paris is pretty low. Very accessible. You go by train. You spend 3 days there. You have all investors for Europe and from abroad, also from the US or Asia. It's okay, there we're useful. This is a bit how we work.
Yeah, interesting. It sounds like there's a lot of coordination that goes on, right? That has to, because you're talking about InnoSwiss, SwissTech, SwissNext, Presence Suisse,
Switzerland Global Enterprise, and sometimes we work with GGBa and with GZA and with Basel area. This is crazy how many of these organizations we have in Switzerland.
Yeah. And so you got to a little bit juggle the activities, or how to...
It's again, if the why is clear, this is my obsession. My team is tired of me asking always, why do we do things? If the why is clear, then people can agree on. If you need people to agree on why we're doing things, it's like in business. And too often it starts with it should be blue or red. So you have very cool design discussions without starting with why do we do these things. What we do is less important. If the why is clear, then you have people doing the job.
Simon Sinek way of doing things, right?
So if the why is clear, then coordination is easier. The worst thing is if you spend 90% of your time coordinating, you're not doing. And we are doers. So we need, but if you only do without coordination, the risk is pretty high not to deliver the right product because it wouldn't mirror the needs of the country. So we have to make sure it's part of the why definition. Why we do things that are useful for the country. So we have to talk to the different partners, let it be private or public, to be sure that what we do is aligned with the needs. One is defined, then we go. So it's a balance to find between having 25 meetings a day and doing stuff. If you have no coordination, it's a risk. If you have too much coordination, you're not doing. So it's a balance to be found. But these people are very good and agile at doing it because we're used to it.
It goes back to this whole idea of collaboration, reaching out to the people that you meet who might have a slightly different viewpoint, But that doesn't matter because at the end of the day, we are both trying to achieve the same thing, right?
And again, if the why is clear, this is the key moment. Sometimes it doesn't work and you make a project and say, was it good or not? You cannot even say if it was good or not.
Yeah.
Because how can you measure success if you haven't defined the right goals?
Right.
So you can have 1 million visitors. If none of them is investor and your target and your purpose is to bring investors to something, you have 1 million visitors, but useless.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to have the two right people at the table than 1 million.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you're talking about the expo in Osaka, where we run the Swiss pavilion that is about to open, there we want 1 million visitors to come to the Swiss pavilion. Because
1 million?
Yeah, because,
In how much time?
6 months.
In 6 months.
We had 1.8.
Not in one afternoon.
No, we had 1.8 million in Dubai, for instance, for the last World Expo.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Because our job is to be at the right place and to be sure that the pavilion is this is location. So we can almost retail elements.
Right.
So there, if we want to have as many people as possible, not as many, but nonetheless, it's a quantitative aspect in Osaka, where we have a great show about innovation, exhibition about it, but we need to have a certain volume. This explains why we spend money there in the World Expo.
Yeah, right.
In the past, it's been pretty successful. I hope that it goes on. But I think the image of Switzerland and Japan is good.
Yes.
So people are willing to come to Swiss Pavilion.
Sure.
And then we have a mix of Heidi, who's a Swiss icon in Japan, because of thanks to the manga.
Right.
So the 70s manga is still very, very popular in Japan.
Right. Sure.
So we work with Heidi.
Okay.
And we bought
there's a manga Heidi?
Yeah. Oh gosh, there are many things you have to catch up, my friend.
Okay, I guess so.
It's a legendary one.
Okay.
Worldwide, very strong in Japan, and still today, very, very strong in Japan, based on the Heidi.
On the traditional Heidi?
Novel, yeah.
Wow.
And so we're working with that because for Japanese people, Switzerland is Heidi.
Yes.
So they're coming to make a picture with Heidi. In the meantime, on the way within the pavilion, they learn about the Swiss recipe, about innovation, and so on. Then they discover concrete projects. We had more than 200 application project that wanted, so applying project that wanted to be showcased within the pavilion. We showcased 30 of them over the 6 months. And then so they go through the pavilion, they see the history of Switzerland, then they have an immersive moment, an Instagram moment, because this is the deal. Then it goes through an innovation exhibition, and they left by saying goodbye to Heidi.
Oh, okay.
And this is actually the marketing mix we do. And there, our target is about 1 million visitors over 6 months that going through the pavilion.
Right.
Plus we have a B2B aspect where we have panels, smaller scale with 50 people for each panel discussing about, we have the top universities from Sweden coming with Japanese universities opening up, and we have more panels or workshop. We have 50 people. And they are exactly as important as the 1 million visitor we expect.
Sure, of course.
So in that sense, the targeting is key.
Yeah.
If the why is key, again, what we do on the ground floor, it's made to have a broad audience, media coverage. NHK, national television, has been already making lots of coverage.
Right.
But then we have 12 pages in Wired, the Japanese edition, this month about quantum computing, because we invited them to Switzerland, to Geneva, to the CERN, and to the OQI.
Nice.
So you have that. And the Wired USA online is also using the content that has been produced with the Japanese Wired about quantum computing.
Okay.
So this is a bit, again, the mix, always the same. Wired is not read by the broad audience.
No, I wouldn't think.
It's perfectly fine.
Right.
So we do have NHK covering for the broad audience. When you have 3 minutes on the news in Japan, talking about millions watching it and the Swiss pavilion, with Heidi and the fact that the pavilion is innovative, and then you have Wired, we have no Heidi, but you have the CERN showcase, a leading innovation newspaper in Japan or in the US. This is a bit how we work.